welcome to my tutorial on using the Waves linear phase multiband compressor. Now the linear phase is a wonderful compressor. In my opinion, it's the best multiband compressor you're going to be able to buy on a normal person's budget. It is my go-to multiband compressor when it comes to the mastering chain. If you watched my mastering with Waves tutorial, you will see that's the one I used, and at the time I said I couldn't go into how to use it properly because it was a bit too detailed for there. I decided to do this tutorial to show people how to use it properly because I've noticed a lot of the videos I'm seeing on YouTube, they're not quite harnessing the full power of this thing. They're using it as a normal multiband compressor, which is great, but it has other extra features as well which really enhance your mix. And in my opinion, if you're going to buy one piece of software to really make your mixes sound a little bit better, this is the one plugin where you put it in the chain and you just go, wow, this really is making a big difference. So if it's used properly, it's absolutely brilliant. So let's see how it works. This mix is one I'm working on at the moment, so excuse if some of the levels are slightly out, but I've picked a good section where there's a good range of dynamics. There's some lead as well as some rhythm guitar, and there's some synths going on as well. So there's a lot there, and it's a good demonstration of how this thing can make everything stand out nicely. So the way most people will use this is as a standard multiband compressor. There's some good presets, and they will pick something like the basic multi. They'll get this playing, which I'll do now for you. What this does, down the bottom here, you can see some threshold numbers here, and what people will normally do is type in their thresholds, which I'm just going to do here. And by the power of YouTube, that is all done automatically for us. And what that's done is it's told it what thresholds to work to, and if we now play this again, we should find that it's working a bit harder with everything. You should see a bit more activity. So here we go. That's all well and good. It's got some activity there. As you can see, it's working as a multiband compressor. That is as far as most people use it, and they're really missing out because it can do a bit more than this, and what it does do is really enhance your mix rather than just work like a normal multiband compressor. In the presets, what you would like to pick is the adaptive multi-electro mastering. In fact, first I'm going to have to do a full reset to get rid of those thresholds. Then choose Adaptive Multi-Electro Mastering. Now, what this will do is it allows the multiband to really look ahead and analyze the audio that you're working with. You give it some numbers and it's really going to work with you to make the mix that you've already made and the thresholds of the EQ and the compressors you've used on each individual track. It's going to work with you on that and bring everything together really well. Most important thing you want to do down here on the makeup gain button is change that to auto, because that's going to tell it to do the job for you, and it's going to do it very, very well. So we've set that to auto. We now need to tell it what audio it's going to be working with. So I'm going to play this for a bit, and we'll just watch these threshold numbers may change slightly. That's going to be enough. Ideally, if you were doing this properly, you would pretty much let it go through the whole track, or at least through the loudest parts of the track. Now, when I set my thresholds, what you'll notice around here is that it's, because it's got the auto makeup gain, it's going to start setting itself up in expectation for what audio is coming through, which is already a difference to the basic multiband. Now that is mimicking the sort of EQ curve of the track that I've got. It means that it's now going to work differently on each band, and the difference is quite remarkable. There's one further aspect to it as well once we get it going. As this is now playing, over here on the master threshold, you want to drag that down and you'll see the blue range area of how the compressor's working is raising. And you need to trim occasionally to stop it clipping, but you want to set this range so that it's sitting with this line is going through the middle of it. Now that has set the range properly of where it's going to work. I'm going to need to trim that down a bit again, and there's a bit too much activity going on here, so along the release you need to set the release of each part of the compressor. I'm going to raise that until the movement is a bit smoother, and that's like setting your release on a normal compressor when you're looking at the kick or the snare and wanting it to be snappy. That's what we're basically doing. Now what I've done here is harness the full power of the compressor by making it work within a good range of the EQ and the mix levels that I've set, and it's now compressing properly to its fullest. And if I stop this for a second, and I'm going to or put that on standby, we'll see quite what difference this has made. So here we go. Hopefully still with YouTube compression you can hear that the lows, the kick and the bass really come out nicely, and at the same time the high end is really bright and nice as well. That just works really well. That is the proper way to use this thing to really enhance your mix and not just use it like a normal multi-band compressor. Hopefully that's made sense to you. A nice quick tutorial for once from me rather than my 15-20 minute marathons, but hopefully one of the best mastering ones that I'll do for you that you can use to really make your mix sound good. So any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'll try and answer them if I can. Thanks very much.